Evening. Good evening. Welcome to the Living in Utah Thursday edition live question and answer session. I hold this every Thursday. Next week, I will not be holding one for Thanksgiving. I have a lot planned for Thanksgiving, so I have to make it in 2 weeks' time, but I'm normally here every week. This is an opportunity to present any kind of questions you might have, whether it's on the state of Utah, real estate, the United States. You're free to ask a question, and I will do my very best to comment or come up with an answer or get back to you on an answer. So can always continue on. It has been a changing of the weather week. Temperatures dropped right now in the state of Utah. It was nicer earlier in the week. The weekend was beautiful, 60-degree temperatures on the weekend. But now we are probably 30s, 40s. We had a cold front come through. It's getting a little bit chilly out there. Definitely, if you have not winterized anything, it's probably time to do it right now. So that's what's happening in the state of Utah. So I'm Mike Gallagher, by the way. I'm a local real estate agent in the state of Utah. If you're new here to the Thursday edition question and answer session, then, welcome. And I just caught my attention. Colombia. Wow. I love it when people join from areas outside of the United States. So really appreciate it. So that caught my attention. Welcome. I'm not too sure what time frame you were on. I would guess you're probably about 2 hours ahead of me, probably about 10 p.m. would be my guess. But anyways, thank you for joining. Welcome to the channel. If you enjoy the channel, please give it a like, subscribe. And tonight, I'm going to talk a little bit about market inventory. What's happening in the housing market in the state of Utah at the moment. But a little bit different. Instead of talking about, what homes are selling for price-wise, it's going to give an idea of where we're at as a state for inventory levels, where we've been in the past, et cetera, to give you an idea on what is happening right now in the state of Utah. Okay, last week you asked about confidential teams. Yes, and I think I shut off just before you responded. Duke and Nebraska fan. Okay. Parents went to these schools. I'm also a fan of BYU, and I strangely like Utah, Oregon, and Hawaii too. Okay. Good. Cool. Some great teams. You will have a very tough time this weekend between the Utah-Oregon game then. Probably picking a winner on that. I will be on the Utah side, so I'm a Utah fan. BYU's having a great year this year. So I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but so I was typically a diehard Utah Ute fan. Season ticket holder went to a lot of the games, and I just got a little bit frustrated with trying to get to the games. It's an all-day event. With me doing real estate on Saturdays, it was really, really tough trying to get to a game. I still attend 1 or 2 games a year up at the U. And I became a Utah State Aggie fan because I really enjoy the drive. I love driving up to Logan. It's a great drive. You pull in the parking lot, go to the game, go home. Beautiful. Love it. And I don't get many opportunities to go to that part of the state, up into Cache County. So, and I've fallen in love with the whole Mountain West Conference. I really enjoy it. I've had the opportunity one of my goals with Utah State also was to visit some of the other teams. Boise, Wyoming, UNLV. We've got San Diego, Colorado State. So it's a great opportunity. Air Force. I've been out to the Air Force Academy for a game. So I really enjoy the Mountain West Conference. I love the geographical location. It's great to go to an away game, and there's a lot of away games that are just car drive away. So very inexpensive to go to an away game. But yeah, I'm a big college football fan. I enjoy the NFL too. But I'm not kind of like an anti-BYU fan, as you might want to think. I do support players that leave there. I've got my eye on Zach Wilson. Hope he does very well. It's great to see somebody that played at BYU go to the team like the Jets. So I always have my eye on him. I'm, injured at the current moment. I don't think he's back this weekend, but possibly he's back. So I do keep an eye out for players like that. So been quite a few come to mind. I think of Kyle Van Noy, the linebacker. I think he's back with the Patriots. Great player, admire. I'm keeping an eye on him from time to time too. So I do keep an eye on some of those players, as long as Utah and Utah State. Mr. Z, I check out Muller Trailhead at Elephant Rock last Saturday. It took 4 hours round trip. Yeah, that's about right. I forgot about that place. I haven't been in, probably 20 plus years. Wow. Brings back memories, that does. Well, thank you for the memories. Yes. Yeah, I forgot about that. So, if you have any questions, by all means, let me jump into some statistics that I've got here tonight. Let's go. So this is a little different than talking about like what homes sell for, et cetera, et cetera. I really enjoy data. I'm a data-driven guy. I love stuff like this. But to give an idea how many homes have been listed for sale, we started a year at about 3,200 homes. Last month, we were about 4,600 homes. We look on the right side over here, and we hit a high of between 5,000 to 6,000 homes throughout the summer months in 2021 here. So it was very low inventory at the beginning of the year. It has dropped off a little bit in October. A lot of that's due to the winter months, holidays coming up. Some people don't want to put their home up for sale during the holiday period. They have a lot going on. And probably one of the last things they want to do is also prep their house for showings. But, very interesting. This is something that when we talk about active listings. So if you're a chef, you need ingredients. You have to have food in the refrigerator and food in the cupboard to make a good dish. So if you're selling real estate, you need product. You need houses. You need homes. The lines up here, when we look at the green, red, and yellow lines, is 2017, 2018, 2019, pre-COVID time period. Where the state of Utah, during that time period, we had a booming economy, people moving here, et cetera, et cetera. Great time for the state. Lots of homes, lots of active listings, and it's broken down here. And this is how it has changed over the last 4 or 5 years. You take a time like in January of 2017, 2018, 2019, we had anywhere from 7,600 to 8,600 homes on the market. This last January, we had 2,300. So almost a quarter of our number we had in 2019, a third of what we had in 2017, even during the summer months. So let's just say in 2017 or in 2021, we had a really bad January winter and people didn't want to put their homes on the market, although it was a very dry winter this last January. But we still only had 2,300 homes. When we look at the summer months, so you look at some of the busiest time, June, July, and August, we averaged anywhere from 9,000 to almost 10,000 homes on the market for people to look at. This is the whole Wasatch Front. all the way up to Logan, Utah. Approximately 10,000 homes. This summer, we were in the 3,000 to 4,000 range, less than half of the homes that we had just a few years ago for sale. And that has continued. Now, when we look at like September, October, November, 9,000, 10,000, 9,000 homes just a few years ago, we're down to 4,200, 4,400 homes. So it goes to show that we are lacking product to sell. A number of reasons come to mind. Low interest rates has created high demand and an opportunity, I think, for some people to refinance their home and stay in their home, maybe do a refinance, remodel instead of purchasing another home. So low interest rates is one number. And the growth in the state of Utah is another one. And high demand for homes. So when we combine them together, that is the kind of market that we are currently have been operating in for the whole year. So yes, so that is our current market. Some people are sometimes a little bit shocked by it. I get people come in from out of state, 2 or 3 days, and feel like they're going to find a home. But a lot of times people get here and there's just not much inventory to show at the current time. What's on the market could be under contract, already received many offers and they've cut off offers, et cetera, et cetera. So, okay. Please explain an HOA on a property. So HOA, Homeowners Association. So it's an association that basically sets rules and guidelines on what you can and cannot do in the neighborhood in that particular HOA. And one of the reasons, the good things about, a lot of people talk about the bad things about an HOA, but let me give you an idea on some of the good things. It keeps property values higher, makes neighborhoods more desirable, because every homeowner has to meet certain standards for their yard, the exterior of a home. Sometimes HOAs will only allow certain colors on the exterior of a home, certain trees, certain landscape. A lot of times the landscape and design has to be approved by the HOA. And this is all in an effort, to keep it a nice place to live, which increases home prices. For instance, I live in a neighborhood that has no HOA. If my neighbor next door decides to paint his house pink and purple and not take care of his yard, convert his whole house or his whole front yard to something that would be unattractive, it would probably be harder for me to sell my home in a neighborhood like that when people have a neighbor like that next to them. So an HOA limits that. They would step in, enforce their rules and regulations, and allow, to stop things like that from happening. So where HOAs sometimes get a little bit of a bad rap or negativity in a sense, people feel like they cannot do anything to their home without talking to the HOA. Say they want to tear out this tree, put a different design of tree in. Maybe they would like a different flower in their garden. A lot of times that requires approval of the HOA. You want to change the exterior of your home. You want to go from stucco to maybe brick. Well, that would have to meet the HOA rules. And if it's not in their rule book to allow the particular architectural design that you want on the exterior of your home, then it would not be allowed. So some people feel they don't, they own the home, but they don't own the home because they've got rules and regulations that they have to live by. So it's kind of like being younger, living with your parents sometimes. There are rules that you have to follow. So that's an HOA. An HOA does come with a fee. So, and they range, depending on the amenities that you get. They do have to publish. They're required to republish a report on where the money, how much money they bring in, where they spend the money, et cetera, et cetera. So a complete accounting report. The fees for an HOA can vary greatly. I mean, I've seen some, you could be 30, 40, 50, 60 bucks a month, a couple $100, $600 a month. There are gated communities in Park City where the HOAs could be $100,000 a month because they've got golf courses, equestrian parks, you name it. The amenities are huge. So if you're in an area where they mow your yard, they take care of your snow removal for you, you'll pay a little bit of a higher HOA. If they have a pool, it takes more money to maintain a pool, a clubhouse, a gym. Your HOA fee will be a little bit higher than an HOA that maybe just mows the grass, say for instance. So that's HOA in general. Some people like them, some people don't like them. But overall, the bottom line is I always feel that it keeps home values up and it keeps neighborhoods that have an HOA pretty much the same, because there's not much you can do in an HOA without the HOA knowing about it. So one of my rental properties that I have is in an HOA, and it's enforced heavily. So actually just about a month ago, I had to have a tree replaced. The tree was dying, and they sent me a picture of it. It's actually a rental property that I have. They sent me a picture of, said tree's dying. And they also sent me a list of the approved trees that I could install. And if it wasn't on that list, I could not put it. And then I had to call them on the phone or email them, I believe. I let them know that, it's ready for a reinspection to clear the violation that I had. So good day. They would like to see average home prices in 2018, 2019 next. Okay, you got it. Oh, good evening. I believe you are joining us also from outside of the United States. A lot of northern Utah properties, 111-acre lots have HOA fees. I'm a little bit lost on that question, but in general, we don't have a lot of neighborhoods that are in HOAs in general. Now, there's going to be one caveat to that. If you are in a over 55 community, it's typically an HOA community. If you are in a townhome or a condo, you're probably in an HOA community also. So that would be the exception to some of that. But in general, single family homes, majority of the single family homes that I show are not in an HOA. So from Colombia, okay. That is 2 people that are joining today's question and answer session from Colombia. Thank you. Thank you. Colombia is an area I have never been to, so put that on the list. What can HOA do about a house that burned down in the neighborhood? Well, the HOA would rebuild the home. Yes. So what did you do about the dying tree? I replaced the tree. I had someone go out and replace it. This particular home is not in the state of Utah. It's out of state. I hired somebody to install a tree for me to meet the HOA requirement. I appreciate the channel. Well, thank you for the positive comment. Andy, I refuse buying in HOA areas because I don't want to pay to have someone tell me what to do. Okay, that right there is why some people do not like HOAs, because once again, they feel they own the property, but they do not own the property because they have to meet certain rules and regulations that someone will tell them about. City codes should cover neighborhood property issues. Yes, it does to a certain extent. So, a lot of city codes, like if the neighbor next door, his weeds are too tall, I could call the city and they will typically have a generic type of ordinance. If it's above a certain inch, they have to chop them down. But it does not stop the neighbor next door from painting his home pink and purple. So, which I think are great colors. But anyways, there are certain things that, city requirements that, are not covered under city code requirements. So if it's like a safety item or something that's in the code, yes, definitely. But HOAs can enforce a lot more. Landscaping, you name it. They enforce all that. Where the neighbor next door, if he just lets his yard go and makes it a weed fest, but because in a lot of cities, I believe the city will not even issue a citation for like weeds unless they're taller than a certain height. It's like 12, 24, 36 inches or something like that. So, but yeah, but I have a lot of clients that like HOAs. My sister lives in an HOA. She's a single lady. She does not want to do the snow removal. She does not want to mow the grass, et cetera, et cetera. So she loves the HOA. They do that all for her. My dad lives in HOA. He's in an over 55 age community. He's at the age where he doesn't want to mow the grass. Technically, he doesn't have time to mow the grass. He is very, very busy traveling and doing many other items. So he enjoys the house is being taken care of when he's not there. So they get rid of the snow in the winter and mow the grass. So he enjoys his HOA. So there are some people who do like an HOA. Personally, where I live, I'm not in an HOA, and I kind of like it that way. So, Frank, daylight savings is weird. In places like Nashville, can get dark at 4 p.m. local, and a place like Nebraska, it doesn't get dark until 6:30 local. I imagine mountains is zone 4 Utah. Yeah, we get dark around 5:30 to 6 o'clock here. Yes. So I thought that they were under the Trump administration. They were working on a bill to do away with the daylight savings time. And then I didn't hear much more about that. There was a lot of talk about it, or maybe some senators had brought it up to President Trump at the time. I don't remember exactly, but have you seen an HOA be unreasonable? I guess it depends on what you feel is unreasonable. So let me tell you another experience I had with an HOA that is the exact same property. So I got a notice that when I bought, or I got a notice that said the tree was too close to the wall in the backyard and I had to move it. Well, I argued and argued. And when the home was built and the landscaping was put in, it was approved and signed off with the tree in that particular spot. Well, I lost my case, multiple appeals. I lost my case. And me and my brother had to drive down to that property on a weekend and move the tree literally 12 inches to be in compliance. So it cost me more money in hotels and gas to get down there to move the tree. So, but I thought it was unreasonable. So I wasn't the original purchaser of the home, but I found the records that detailed the landscaping plan, and it showed a tree like right there. And they argued and said, no, it was supposed to be over further. And anyways, so I thought that was unreasonable. But some people feel HOAs can be unreasonable. Some people, no. So I think in general, if you like to maintain your property and have nice grass and flowers and nice exterior, then like my sister who's in an HOA and my dad, they have no issues at all with the HOA. Zero issues. None at all. So we are actively looking for property away from people, but by the tech industry. Okay. So you're probably looking in northern Utah. So the tech industry is in, well, multiple places now. Are probably the hub of it would be in the Lehi, Utah area. There are tech companies now throughout Salt Lake, all the way up to Ogden, Utah. Actually, all the way up to Logan, Utah now. Tech companies are property in what we call Silicon Slope area. Commercial property is very expensive, very, very expensive. So some companies are looking for some alternate areas, and they have put their buildings in other cities now too. So I don't care what color my neighbor paints his house. Yeah, city codes enforce weeds only over a certain height, which I think is reasonable. Yeah. I'm with you, Andy. I like not being in an HOA, but I do maintain my property very, very well. So I don't think I would have a problem with an HOA, but there's always living in an HOA, some people feel like they're being controlled. So Big Brother is watching over them. So yeah, HOAs, positives, negatives. Definitely. Like I say, I know people who love HOAs, and I know some people who will not own in an HOA. So I think it's very handy also if you are using Utah as, say, a vacation home. Maybe you have a primary residence in another state, and Utah is your vacation home. It's nice to be in an HOA if they're doing the yard work and the snow removal, et cetera, et cetera. That's one less thing that you would have to find someone to do or wonder if they're actually accomplishing it. And also with the HOA, if you were in doubt that maybe you felt like your home might have been broken into or something was wrong, you wake up in the middle of the night and you had a bad dream that somebody was in your home, I guess you could call the HOA and ask them to, drive by and make sure everything was okay. They would probably be more than willing to take care of something like that for you. So it would be good. So okay, what Utah communities should we look in near skiing where we could buy a small, affordable office building as well as a good residential area? Wow. Couple recommendations for you come to mind, and I'm sure more will come to mind later. One of them would be the Ogden, Utah area. So all of Weber County, you can find office space, commercial buildings, et cetera, and you could live right above Ogden, Utah in the valley, what we call the valley, Eden, Huntsville, and Liberty. Or you could live, in the Ogden area if you'd like to. And you have skiing resorts all in that community. Okay. So that's one option I'd recommend. Option number 2 would be having some office space in Salt Lake City area. You could live in some great areas like, say, the East Bench of Salt Lake City. And some of them are on the video that I released on suburbs of Salt Lake City. And you would have real quick access. And the reason I say the east side of Salt Lake City is you have quick access to the ski resorts. You're real close to all the roads that go up to Brighton, Park City, Alta, Deer Valley, et cetera, without going all the way through Salt Lake having to travel through Salt Lake before you hit those roads to go up to the ski resorts. That would be another option. So yeah, those two areas is where I would look at. You could also live in the Park City area and have an office in Salt Lake City and commute to the office. And then if you're in a Park City area, you're right next to the ski resorts. So when we're talking the Ogden area, also if you were living up in that Eden, Huntsville, and Liberty area, I do have a video, by the way, on Eden, Huntsville, and Liberty. If you lived up there, you have the ski resorts up there, and you could travel down to Ogden. I guess the question would be, would you want to be closer to the ski resorts or to your commercial property office? You know, which one would you want to be closer to? And so that'd be one of the questions. But that's the two main areas that I would consider. So. Oh, by the way, as I travel back, and I'm just gonna throw this out there. I'm assuming that you are a frequent skier. If you are a frequent skier and you are looking for season passes, the best time to buy season passes is when the season ends. So when it winds down in March, April, May time period is usually the very best deals on season passes for the next year. And there are some ski resorts that actually sell out of season passes, by the way. So don't leave it too late. Can HOA limit parties, loud noises, and dog barking? They sure can. They sure can. If no new houses came up for sale, say from Ogden to Provo, how long would it take for all of them to be sold? Okay. I do have a number for you on that. So last month, we sold along the Wasatch Front. There were roughly 4,000 homes that sold. Right now, we have inventory of 3,400 to about 3,600 homes, I believe, currently as of today on the market. So right now, and that is, and I'm referring from Provo-Orem area all the way to Logan, Utah. We have about 3,400 to 3,600 homes. So if no home got listed on the market, we would literally run out of homes in about 3 weeks. It might take a little longer than that because, you know, when you really start getting down to the final 400, 500, 600 homes, it might be a little tougher sale on some of those. Some of it might be due to price points. So if we get rid of everything under, say, $750,000 and we're left with, I don't know, 1,000 homes priced $1 million and above, there's only a certain amount of buyers that can qualify or afford those particular homes. So it might take a little bit longer, but yeah, that's the situation we're in. And I do not know if it's going to improve. I do not know what next year is going to bring to us. So, you know, I get the question all the time, do we think the market's going to go down? And it's a tough question. It's a very tough question. When I see very, very low inventory, I have a hard time seeing prices go down, at least by any sort of number, you know, when we're talking 5, 10, 20, 30% decrease, but we've only got a few homes on the market. So, all right. Thank you. Excellent answers. What is the best way to find commercial real estate in Utah? Home and office 20 minutes apart within 1 hour of skiing. So let me think on this one here. Best place for like commercial real estate. The MLS has quite a bit. I would also look on KSL.com. In the classified section, you'll also see commercial property on there. You can always shoot me an email because I do know some of the commercial areas. I'm not a commercial real estate agent, but I do help people I have helped people in the past purchase commercial real estate. So I do know the commercial market also. But home and office 20 minutes apart within 1 hour of skiing. Okay. And that could be doable. That could be doable. So if we're talking Salt Lake City, you know, oh boy, the good question is do you find the house first or do you find the commercial property first? That's the question. But yeah, in any of those areas. But within 1 hour of skiing, so you could do pretty much that opens up a whole bag of areas. So you can do all of Salt Lake County, areas into Utah County, and still be within 1 hour of ski resorts. And even if you wanted further north, you could go to places like Layton, Kaysville, Ogden area, and still be within 1 hour of ski resorts. So one thing to consider, if you are looking at possibly skiing at multiple ski resorts, you may consider the Davis County area, Farmington, Bountiful, Layton, Kaysville, put you in the middle. So you can go to the ski resorts in the Ogden area, Snow Basin, Powder Mountain, drive up that direction. But you can also travel to the ones above Salt Lake City, Brighton, Alta, Deer Valley, Park City Mountain. So you could go either direction and probably have about the same. You would definitely be within 1 hour to the ski resorts from there. Any ski resort that you would want. So, yeah. If you don't mind 1 hour away from skiing, you have. I would just look at what area you would want to have commercial property. And based off of where you want commercial property, maybe find a home. I could pick out some neighborhoods or some areas for you on top of that. Guess it really depends on what someone's looking for in commercial property. If it's a business or something that I'm just throwing this out there, it's really not my specialty as far as knowing some of the industries out there. But say I'm assuming that maybe someone does say a business that does a lot of international business. Well, it probably doesn't matter if they're in Provo, Utah, Ogden, Utah, Logan, Utah. It really probably does not matter. But if they're a business that deals with, say, the Utah Jazz, has a relationship with, say, the Utah Jazz, and it's important that they are next to what they do, they would want something in a particular area. So a lot goes into that. Thanks very much. You're welcome. Any more questions this evening? Lots of great questions. All right. NVDA jumped from 294 to 320 after earnings today. Okay. Not a stock that I follow, not a stock that I know much about. So I have done. So I don't usually make very much money, dabbling in the stock market. I enjoy it, but I guess I'm not very great at it. But I had a great run last Friday on gold. And this week I had a great run on Tesla. Woo, baby. Tesla was doing this number. And I longed and shorted Tesla the last couple days. Ooh, boy. Love Tesla. And I usually am not into Tesla stock. It's usually a little too volatile for me. But, oh, yeah. And I love gold. think it was last Thursday or Friday. I rode the gold train all the way up, bought in, sold, because I didn't think it would go any higher, and it just kept climbing and climbing to the moon. Gold. I don't do much crypto. I've invested in crypto before, and I have lost money. It just down the tube, thousands of dollars. And I noticed that crypto today and last night took a huge dive. So crypto makes me a little nervous. 1,500, 2,000 square foot office, retail, healthcare, freestanding, commercial, or office condo. Oh, okay. Gotcha. It's the biggest semiconductor stock, bigger than AMD. Oh, good. Is it going to the moon? So if I buy at 320, is it still going to take off? And let me tell you the other thing it always makes me nervous about Tesla stock. And all I kept thinking was the last couple of days when I've been in and out of Tesla was I got to close Tesla out. I can't hold Tesla overnight because I'm too afraid if Elon Musk tweets something or says something and the stock could go up, down, sideways, who knows? So Tesla sometimes makes me a little nervous holding that stock. So I do not hold Tesla stock, by the way, overnight. Nope. All right. I heard Utah's going to have a major earthquake sometime soon. Is that true? Well, I've been told that for the last 30 years. Haven't seen it. We did have a major earthquake that happened during the pandemic, probably last March or April. It was in an area that we call Magna, Utah. So where the Salt Lake City Airport is, in that particular vicinity. Affected the airport, and I actually felt shockwaves from where I live. So I was actually in the garage, walking up the stairs into the house, and my whole body was shaking. And it was real early in the morning, probably about 7:30 in the morning. And I said to the wife, I go, something's not right. I might have to go to the hospital. I couldn't make it up the stairs. I was literally like shaking. And she goes, I was shaking too. That's when we realized that something else might have been going on because neither one of us had ever been in an earthquake before. So that was totally new to us. But yeah, an experience. So what will be easier to find? Commercial, residential for 500 to 700 each. Probably both. Probably easier to find the house, but I think you can find commercial too. People are saying so. Yes, the next Tesla stock. Look it up on YouTube. Great CEO on both NVDA and AMD. Okay, great. You got this. Okay. NVAD looking to acquire ARM. Probably won't happen. AMD looking to acquire. Probably will happen. Okay. I could ask you about another one that somebody was telling me about the other day. I'm trying to think. Is it RIVN? Do you know much about RIVN? Someone told me to look into RIVN. So some of these I don't look because I mostly do Forex trading. So on the Forex market. So I have a limited number of companies, some of your major companies, and then your currency pairs, your gold, your silver, your cryptos, your indices is what I look at a lot. What's on the Forex market pretty much. Yeah, buy under $100. Next EV truck. Okay, that might have been what they were talking about. Someone was telling me to look at RIVN, so and I didn't look at it too close. So I love Lucid EV cars. Well, when you're, and I don't know what's caused the Ford over the last week, Ford stock. I think it's the last week or 2 weeks. Ford stock has taken off. by quite a bit. And I don't know if that's to do with their talk with the electric vehicles, because I had heard that on the Ford pickup truck that's coming out that's electric, they already have 1 million orders. They've had to cut off the orders because they can't produce more than that vehicles coming up. Thank you very much. Great live tonight. You are very kind. You're welcome. Reach out to me anytime you want if you need any kind of assistance. Too much hype with Riven now. Just IPO'd. Okay. Maybe that's why. Yeah, someone told me to look into it. I like I say, I do a lot of the Forex. I pretty much only trade on Forex. I do have an Ameritrade account, but I don't use it much. I like the Forex market. I really enjoy the currency. I love gold. I love trading gold. I trade silver. No crypto. I've done crypto in the past. Not very good luck. Big fan of the indices. And that's why I like Forex, because working throughout the day or in the afternoon when, the New York market is open, sometimes I'm in my car. I don't have time. So I love on the early mornings, I can get up at 5 a.m. and I can check out the London market. So you've got the UK 100 going, the German GER 30 going, the German, the US 30 trades on the Forex market during those times. Also, you got the Japan market. So I like watching all those, and then the currency pairs are all trading. Gold is trading. So I do like the Forex market. So kind of suits my time. And even like tonight, right now, Forex market's going. So F-150 Lightning, it's a good stock. Yes, it's the CEO was on TV and their orders exceeded their expectations. So Home Depot and Costco are beasts too. Okay. Yeah. They can't beat Costco. I mean, Costco's booming. Home Depot's booming too. When the housing market is booming around the country, Home Depot, yes. Supplies. All righty. Any more questions this evening before I call it an evening? HD is Home Depot. Oh, okay. Any more questions this evening before I call it a night? Thanksgiving plans? Yes. Families in town. We are doing big Thanksgiving, so I will not do a show next Thursday night. And but yeah, we are doing this year traditional, and I have not done a traditional Thanksgiving in a while. We're going to do the turkey and mashed potatoes and everything. Probably for the last 3 to 4 years, we've done prime rib. We are big prime rib fans, so we've done a very nice prime rib, and this year we decided to go traditional. So I will miss the prime rib, but don't worry, we're going to have it for Christmas. So best way to contact you. So in the show notes down below, my contact information. So as far as phone number, my phone number and email will be in there, 801-814-1987 or my realtor, mikeg@gmail.com. Either way, whatever you prefer. Ham or turkey, we are turkey this Thanksgiving. So I was just saying, I typically, the last few years, we've done prime rib. So that's been my choice. Family's choice, actually. We have always said, you want to do turkey or prime rib? And we've all voted for the prime rib. But this year, we're deciding to do traditional turkey. So I love a good piece of prime rib. So I enjoy the turkey too. So happy Thanksgiving to you. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I'll be back again next week. Thank you very much.